Welcome back to another deep dive. Really excited today.
Me too.
We're digging into some fascinating material, partly inspired by thinkers like Dr. Nader Attalla, on a concept that, well, gets thrown around a lot. Radical acceptance. It sounds pretty intense, but honestly, if you've ever felt just, stuck by things you can't change,
Yeah, absolutely.
this could really shift things for you.
You really could.
To kind of get our heads around it, let's start with this classic story. You might have heard it, the farmer story.
Ah, yes, a great one.
So picture this old farmer. His life has these ups and downs, right? First, his prize horse runs off.
Oh, no.
And the neighbors are all, oh, terrible luck, just awful. The farmer, he just shrugs, says, maybe.
Just maybe. Interesting.
The next day, the horse comes back. And it brings 3 wild horses with it.
Wow, okay.
Neighbors are like, amazing. Such incredible fortune, farmer says.
Let me guess. Maybe.
You got it, maybe. Then his son tries to train one of these wild horses, falls off, breaks his leg.
Ouch. Yeah, okay, that seems clearly bad.
Right? Neighbors say, oh, how terrible, how unfortunate. Farmer, still just maybe.
He's consistent, I'll give him that.
Finally, the army comes to town. They're taking all the young men for a war. But they see the son's broken leg.
And they pass him by.
Exactly. Neighbors declare, you're so lucky, how fortunate. And the farmer, one last time, says,
Maybe?
maybe.
It's brilliant, isn't it? That maybe creates this space. Yeah, like a pause before we rush to label something good or bad. We just don't know the whole story, you know?
You see such a tiny slice of what's happening.
Exactly. Today's disaster might be tomorrow's saving grace. The farmer gets that. He sees his limited view.
Okay, so that maybe mindset is sort of the
Yeah.
philosophical vibe. How does radical acceptance fit in? What is it, actually?
Well, think about getting caught in a sudden downpour, like torrential rain.
Okay, I'm soaked.
You have choice, right? You can stand there shaking your fist at the clouds, furious, miserable.
Which achieves nothing.
Precisely. Or you can just, well, accept that you're getting wet. It's happening. Radical acceptance is choosing that. Not because you like being wet.
Definitely don't like being wet.
But because fighting the reality of the rain just adds layers of suffering onto the discomfort.
So it's acknowledging what is, even if it's unpleasant.
That's the core. And it has deep roots, you know? Buddhism talks a lot about this, and it was famously brought into modern therapy by Marsha Linehan.
DBT, right? Dialectical behavioral therapy.
Exactly, as a key skill for distress tolerance. It's ancient wisdom, really. Lao Tzu said something like, life changes, don't fight it, that just makes sorrow. Let reality be reality, let things flow.
That makes sense. We all feel that urge to fight back, though. That fight or flight kicks in when things go wrong.
Normal human response. But the key insight is, while the event might be out of your control, your response to it, that's where your power lies.
So how do we actually do that? It sounds hard.
It is practice, not perfection.
Okay.
It's not one giant leap. First step is just noticing. Noticing when you are fighting reality. Like holding on to bitterness, thinking life should be different. Trying to force people or situations to change when they just won't.
Okay, I can recognize that. Then what?
Then you consciously turn your mind toward acceptance. It's an active choice. You say to yourself, okay, this is what happened, or this is how it is right now.
Like that giant boulder blocking your path analogy.
Exactly. You can scream at the boulder, exhaust yourself trying to push it, or you accept it's there and figure out how to go around.
And you mentioned engaging the body and mind.
Right. Visualization can help. Picture thoughts as clouds floating by or leaves on a stream. It helps detach a bit. And changing self-talk, instead of, this is awful, I can't handle it, try, okay, this is tough, but I'm strong, I can deal with this. The Serenity Prayer is basically an acceptance coping statement.
Got it. But I think people hear acceptance and worry. It means like you approve of the bad thing or you're just going to be passive and give up.
That's a super common misunderstanding, and it's crucial to clear up. Acceptance is not approval. Never.
It's just acknowledging?
Precisely. Acknowledging this is the reality I'm facing right now. It's the difference between, I really wish this hadn't happened, totally valid, and trying to pretend this didn't happen.
Okay.
And it's definitely not passivity. Think about it. How can you effectively change something if you don't first accept its reality? Carl Jung said, we cannot change anything unless we accept it. Acceptance is often the first step towards meaningful action.
Not the end of action.
Not at all. And it's not suppression either. Pushing feelings down just makes them fester. Pain happens. Suffering, though, That often comes from the resistance to the pain, the refusal to accept loss or change.
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. I've heard that.
It holds a lot of truth.
And the benefits. I know research points to less stress, anxiety, depression.
Absolutely. On a practical level, it calms that fight or flight system. Less cortisol flooding your body. You feel more stable emotionally.
Which sounds like more peace, more freedom.
Exactly. People genuinely report feeling lighter. It's like putting down a heavy weight you didn't realize you were carrying, and it transforms things. You start seeing challenges not just as problems, but maybe opportunities for growth.
Shifting your inner state changes how you see the world.
Perfectly put. Like Rumi said, yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. Acceptance is that wisdom.
So practical tips for listeners. How can you start building this muscle day to day?
Start small. Try acceptance language. When you catch yourself thinking, this shouldn't be happening, try adding, but it is happening right now, and that's okay. Just acknowledging.
Okay. Simple shift.
And use mini acceptances. Those small daily hassles. Traffic jams, tech glitches, long queues.
Spilled coffee.
Yes. Instead of fuming, take a breath. Okay, this is happening. Treat them like reps at the acceptance gym. Strengthens the muscle for bigger things.
I like that. The acceptance. Okay, this has been clarifying. Acceptance isn't some magic endpoint, is it? It's more like a continuous practice.
Exactly. Meeting each moment as it is with open eyes.
So maybe the final thought, to leave people with ties back to the farmer.
Perhaps. Can you cultivate that open, maybe? When life throws you a curveball, good or bad, can you pause? Can you recognize you only see a small part of the picture and choose that wiser response over knee-jerk reaction?
Choose wisdom over reaction. A powerful thought indeed. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive today.